Earth is home to many creatures. Some may even consider a few of them monsters. But what of those more elusive and hidden creatures? The ones we just can't seem to find. Welcome to Monday Morning Monsters. Cryptozoologist and paranormal researcher Barnaby Jones talks about the unknown, mythical, undiscovered, and unidentified creatures from around the world, and the people who have seen them, look for them, and research them. Hear from witnesses about their encounters, as well as renowned names in the field about their work and research. Barnaby is the founder and lead investigator for Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, based in Wisconsin. CAPS travels across Wisconsin and beyond looking for connections between different phenomena and how they can all be connected. Now, your host of Monday Morning Monsters, Barnaby Jones.
Good morning, monsters. How are you doing on this fine Monday morning? We have a great show for you today. I want to start out with talking about a couple things that have been in the news this week, and just that little bit. There we go. So first of all, this past week, as you may or may not know, CERN, the Large Hadron Collider over in Geneva, Switzerland, came back online. So that's been some exciting news and a lot of cool sciencey stuff coming out of there. They are looking for the Higgs boson, or the God particle, which is basically a graviton particle. It is supposed to be the link between all things that are the forces of the universe, the positive force, the neutral force, the weak force, the strong electron force, and the gravitational force. So that's some cool stuff. This is the third time that CERN has been turned on. So they're upping everything that they got. They're putting a lot more energy into what they're doing as far as the energy of the experiments, not just their, energy of working on it. But they are doing that. And they have some new experiments planned as for the types of particles that they will be colliding to see the reactions, to see how things react entering our atmosphere. They'll be colliding oxygen protons and stuff for that. So that's some cool stuff that went online on Tuesday of last week. So we didn't have a show last week. Sorry about that. We were out in the field and doing some cool stuff with Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, my group. And on that note, Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, wisconsincaps.com, we are doing a episode next year on UFOs. And if you want to be a part of that episode, this coming Sunday the 17th, we will be doing a CE5 experiment. That's Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind in Neenah, Wisconsin. At 7:30 p.m. we will be starting this, and it'll go to about 10 o'clock at night. And it will be at the Kimberly Point Park in Neenah. It's the Lighthouse Park for anybody that's familiar with that. And we will have the team set up out there with a lot of equipment to see how things go, and test results and look for anomalies in the sky. And if you want to be a part of that, it's a group experiment, so the more people we have out there, the better, to lend your mental energy and help us look for visitors from outer space or a galaxy or wherever they may be coming from. So on today's show, we have special guest here from the Trent Bigfoot Society. They are a group out of Canada that is basically like an after-school program, and they do Bigfoot research. And I believe today we have Ryan with us. Ryan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks so much for having me on.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing well. Well, it is very warm in my studio here. It's I don't even know how hot it is. I really need to expand into an air conditioner out here, though.
Yeah,
I feel
those are very important to have.
it is, yeah. So, I wanted to start out let's talk a little bit about what you guys do and how you got started.
Yeah, so we're a university society that's dedicated to Sasquatch research. And we got started probably about 3 years ago when I first came to the university, and I met a friend, and we got talking about how we both had a huge interest in the Sasquatch subject. And yeah, we branched out and kind of got a big group together, and we'd go out into the woods at night and go out on the expeditions and things, and just try to see if we could stir up anything. We never been able to right by the university, you know, but looking right beside a university probably isn't the best spot. But we've expanded our search areas since. So it's been really cool, and we talk to a lot of the top researchers in the field every week. So yeah, it's really great, and a lot of students have joined and gotten behind it, and now it's I'd have to see the exact numbers of the other club, but I know a lot of people in the other clubs, and it sounds like we're by far the largest in the school right now. So yeah, so it's been really cool.
Cool. I saw online that it said you had about 150 members. Has that gone up, or you think?
Yeah, we're between 160 and 170 right now. So
Wow.
I'm not even sure exactly where in there, because some days we just get a message or an email with someone wanting to sign up, and it goes up, and I don't even see it sometimes. But yeah, well, someone else sees it. We always get who wants to join. But yeah, it's great, and the students have really taken to it. So it's cool to see them really expand their knowledge in the area too.
Very cool. So, what made you want to start that club?
I guess ever since I was a little kid, I'd always had a huge interest in Bigfoot, and I grew up on finding Bigfoot, and I'd watch it every time. I'd be super excited when it was that the day of the week it'd be on, and I'd come home, and I knew it'd be on, and I get to watch it at night for a full hour. And yeah, so I do research online and stuff on the side too. And I was a kid just growing up, so I always wanted to keep learning about it, and I did a good job of that, growing up. And yeah, so it was really cool. Like I said, when I met another friend who'd kind of had the same thing happen to him that way, and yeah, and then we thought, hey, like, why don't we get our friends together, and anyone else who wants to come, and head out and try it ourselves. So we did, and then we thought, hey, like, it'd be a lot. We got a fair number of students in the original kind of before we became official group. We thought this is more than enough to become an official school society. So why don't we become an official one? And we did, and it's neat because we when we first started, we put like a thing in our school's Facebook page, or I guess the class or whatever group chat on Facebook, and we said, if you want to come looking, like, meet us on the bridge at this time. And we're like, oh, no one's gonna be there. Like, we went, and then like there were like 10 to 15 people there, and it's great because we're all still good friends with them now. So it was a cool way to get to meet people too. But yeah, it's been such a cool journey with the society.
Cool. Sounds like kind of a little like sketchy thing. Like, if you want to meet Bigfoot, come find us on
Yeah.
this bridge late at night. Yeah, sure. I would definitely show up for that, but I'm weird, so
Yeah.
that sounds like a party for me. Yeah, let's go look for Bigfoot. Yeah. So when you're reaching out, you've had a lot of like big names in the Bigfooting field and stuff. You've talked with Jeff Meldrum, you talked with Cliff Barrickman, Todd Standing, and I'm missing one.
Not Moneymaker.
Moneymaker. That's your, yeah,
Yeah.
the one I'm missing.
Yeah.
So when you have you reached out to them, or did they reach out to you, or how did that go?
I reached out to all of them, and those are just kind of the four probably most well-known ones we've talked to. But we've talked to some other really well-known ones too, that aren't even listed on our website. We got to do a website update soon, but yeah, they're great, and the students like really love the talks and love getting to learn from them. It was so cool too, because some of us had grown up watching Finding Bigfoot. So to get to like talk to those guys, and it was great with Matt too. I was so happy, when when I heard from him for the first time, because I reached out to him, one night, and then just the next morning, 12 hours later, I had an email back from him, and he's like, oh, can I call you, this week about this, right? This is amazing what you guys are doing. And he was like, he was so excited about it. And we talked for like 2 hours that night. He didn't even wait a whole week. I thought it would be later in the week. I was about to go up and make dinner. It was kind of funny because I was starving, and then I was about to go make dinner, and then I saw it was like a California number and everything, and I was like, oh my god, it's him. And yeah, we talked for like 2 hours, and yeah, it was really cool. And he gave a great talk to the society too. And same with Cliff and Dr. Meldrum and Todd too. They did like such good talks. And yeah, we've talked to Dr. Meldrum quite a few times too. I think a lot of our students are in sciences and stuff, so I think he gets a kick out of it when we'll like someone one of us will ask a really in-depth science question that I doubt he gets a lot of outside of maybe where he teaches and everything. So I think he really appreciates that part of it. I hope. I mean, I see a little smile on his face sometimes someone asks, but yeah, but but we've talked to a ton of other researchers too, like I said, and they're all really amazing. And yeah, it's been so cool getting to learn from everyone. I think that's probably the coolest thing about what the society does, because there's a bunch of different theories and views and stuff, but as academics, it's our job to look at each one of them and not go, this is the only possibility, Bigfoot can only be this way or that way, and we don't have one in a lab yet. We have all the evidence but a body. So until we have that, it's our job to explore every avenue. So it's really cool that we get to, and I think the students really enjoy that aspect of it too.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you, you have a new website that launched, or maybe not new, but new since I heard about you guys originally.
Yeah.
You have a cool little logo on your website and stuff with the Sasquatch University and stuff, and 3 words underneath that. So I wanted to ask you what those words were and what they mean to you guys. Like, why are they on there?
Yeah, I didn't actually make the logo. I'm more the face of everything. There's actually, there's a bunch of us that do great stuff. But yeah, it's I think it's search, explore, and maybe research. To be perfectly honest, I don't even know 100%. But yeah, I didn't actually design the logo.
Credit and first state.
It could yeah, it could be something really dirty. I probably wouldn't even know.
That's fair enough.
It was it was pretty funny because actually just this morning I had I was looking at a shirt because we have merchandise now, so trying to raise money for gear and stuff. And I was showing one to my girlfriend, and she went, "Oh, do you even know what those Latin words mean?" And I was like, "Oh no, like what?" And she's like, "Well, you kind of look pretty stupid if someone asks you, and and you don't know." And she said that probably like an hour ago, and now you're asking me. It's pretty funny.
Well, hopefully you didn't look too stupid.
Yeah, I probably did, but I'll find I'll Google them. But
all right, you do that.
Yeah, it's I think it's search and research, or at least 2 of the words. But yeah,
okay.
Third one's a mystery.
All right, sounds good. You also have a YouTube channel now as well, I see.
Yeah, we have a bunch more content that's almost ready to come. We just have to put the thumbnails on. It's pretty funny. We've done all the editing and stuff, but we're all kind of like the person in our group that was doing the thumbnails way on vacation, so we kind of all been putting off coming up with it. But when we finally do, which have a call to, we're gonna pick someone and figure out how to get it done. But yeah, like I'm really excited for when we do that, because we've already recorded with a bunch of other really great researchers, and they're really cool talks too. So I think once we have more videos too, there'll be a lot for people to learn from on there. And yeah, it's really neat stuff. I mean, I think we have I think the 2 talks we have up right now are Todd Standing and Dr. Matthews too, and then we have a bunch more coming, and yeah, Dr. Meldrum's one of them. Thomas Steenberg. Yeah, there's a bunch, and yeah, I'm super excited for people to see them though, because yeah, like the two we have up are so interesting, and I was pretty amazed. Yeah, there's really cool stuff in them. So yeah, if you're listening, check it out, because yeah, it was the students really loved it. There were some things that I had no idea about that we learned in those talks. So it's really cool.
So when you have these talks and these presenters, they all do like from Zoom for your society and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, obviously they're all over, so it's a lot easier. And then same with a lot of this year too. We were still online with our classes for a chunk of the year when Omicron hit. We got moved to back online, so it kind of worked pretty well for everyone. Just doing a lot of the meetings on Zoom, and yeah, like most of our meetings are on Zoom most of the time, because when we meet, we do talk to a researcher every week, and yeah, but it's great because obviously gives us the ability to access someone anywhere,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think that the students appreciate it too, because we're in class all day, and then if we went all the way back up to the campus, and you know at least at our school, everyone lives like maybe a half hour, 40 minutes from campus. The campus is like out like near the woods and stuff, and it's not even in the main town here. So it's a bit of a trek. But yeah, it's nice. You can go on your laptop, and yeah, you learn a lot, and you get to talk to people from all over. So it's really neat, and yeah.
So how often do you guys have your meetings? Once a week, you said, or?
Yeah, usually once a week. We've even had some weeks where we have maybe like a speaker at the start of the week, and then we'll have one like around Thursday. We try not to put stuff on Thursday and Friday, because we know students want to head out and have a good time on those days. But yeah, usually Monday and Tuesday are when we do our meetings. But yeah, some weeks we'll even have two, and then once in a while we'll have a week where we don't have a meeting. But if it's maybe like exam time or midterms or something like that. But yeah, it's usually once a week.
Cool. And
Yeah.
how often do you guys do field expeditions as well? Correct? How often do you guys do those?
Yeah, we usually go out probably I'd say probably twice a month is like the average, but depending on the month, it'll be, 1 month sometimes if we have like exams and things like that, or midterms. But yeah, it's usually twice a month, and we try to keep it in smaller groups. So yeah, like even, there's a whole bunch of us in the club, but like there'll be different groups of like maybe 5 people or so that go out, and sometimes like I'm not even there. I have like there's other students that they go out on their own, and they'll be like, oh, we went out and saw this and this and this, and you know when looked over here, and thought it looked like a good spot, and it's cool because it started with maybe like 10 or 15 of us doing that, and now there's so many of us, and there's different groups and kids that have their own go out and look group. So I mean the twice a month is really more me and like most of my main guys, right? Like most of the executives and stuff. But I guess you could say the society as a whole is looking more than twice a month, because there are other portions of us that go out and look on their own, and sometimes I don't even hear about it till like a few weeks later or something. So it's cool. It's good they're like taking initiative like that. I really like to see that with them.
So how do you figure out where you're gonna go, and where do you guys actually like head out? I know you guys are up in Canada and that. So, and you said you talked to Matt Moneymaker. He's obviously been all over the world looking for Bigfoot. Did he have any advice as to where you guys should look locally, or where are you guys looking?
Yeah, he did. We asked him that exact question, and he it was kind of funny. He like kind of went. He opened Google Maps, and like he kind of zoomed in. He was looking for kind of like woodland areas in the province and stuff. Um, and something he told us was to look near power lines, because he says they get a lot of reports like people seeing Bigfoots going under power lines and stuff. And the theory there is that they use it kind of as like a highway or a road to get from one place to another, because it's clear cut and stuff, obviously. And then a lot of it, especially in Ontario, is not really near anything all the time. There's a lot of power lines that are, but there's a lot that aren't. But yeah, he pretty much he zoomed in kind of east of Algonquin Park, if you've ever heard of that in Ontario. But yeah, it wasn't too far from an area called Bancroft. Actually, he thought that would be a good spot for us to go looking, and I'm actually going up that way later today to go looking. So yeah, it's cool, especially getting advice from one of the top researchers like that about where to do it. But during the school year, we usually stay closer to the Peterborough area, which is a fair bit further south than there. Yeah, so we kind of look for, it's a lot of farm country right around Peterborough. But there are areas that are forested, so we try to stick to those. But yeah, and there are like local smaller research groups and stuff. So I'm in touch with them pretty regularly, and they'll give us advice, or we got a report about this over here, or we someone found tracks over here, someone heard like a very Sasquatch characteristic howl over here, and it's the same spot there were tracks found before. So we'll go to places like that where maybe there's been some type of activity already, or just places that have good forest cover, and we think if there's going to be a Sasquatch anywhere, it would be there. So yeah, that's usually how we operate during the year. But now that it's summer, it's great because we get to go further. We even have one executive that's out in British Columbia right now, like northern British Columbia, and he's been going out. He's like working at like a logging camp there, but on all his days off, he goes out and does research and stuff. So it's cool to see, kids have joined the club and gotten so interested. Now they're going out and doing their own work too. So yeah, it's great.
Have you found any other like organizations that do research in the area and like expeditions and stuff? Have you gone out or contacted them about like working together with them?
Yeah, we have. We haven't actually met up with them or anything in person yet, but we've called an email with them a fair bit, and we've tried to arrange some stuff. But unfortunately, since the end of the school year, which has been, I guess, maybe 2 months now, we haven't found a date where everyone was free. But yeah, it's really good though because we get to exchange information, and there's a lot of areas I didn't really expect. There would be activity and things, and then it's great because I hear we got this sighting here and here, we went and checked it out, and it's I think it's really great that a lot of the Ontario organizations have heard of us and got in touch with us because obviously it's more effective if we're all sharing information, and that's what we're doing. So I think it's really great that the Sasquatch Society has they heard about us, got in touch, and we've kind of brought a lot of the information together, and we're in touch with most of the research groups in Ontario. So yeah, it's pretty effective that way, and it's just great that we're working together. So
very cool. Very cool. So you guys follow up on recent reports like you said and stuff like that, anything that people give you or you hear in that. Have you guys found any evidence on your own, or have you followed up on anything that's led to anything so far?
Yeah, like we've with the other groups, they've found certain evidence, and I've been in touch with witnesses that we found through our outreach and stuff, that have found evidence and things like that, and footprints and things like, well, I don't know if everyone would consider this evidence or not, but I would, at least, like eyewitness reports and encounters and things like that. So we've made like really good headway in terms of getting our name out there, and then having a lot of like witnesses get in touch with us. So we've had a lot of witnesses reach out, and I consider that to be fantastic evidence. So in terms of us, the society as a whole hasn't found footprints or tree structures or anything we could definitively say was a Sasquatch, but we have made contact with tons of witnesses, which I think is really good for us. And we go follow up with some of the reports, and we're actually doing a fair bit of that this week. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, it's really important, and I think it's fantastic evidence if someone outright saw one, and yeah, that's the type of reports we're getting here in Ontario. So it's good to see that people are seeing them, and a lot of them quite recently too. So I think that's a really good sign.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, eyewitness reports, a lot of the researchers and stuff kind of are, back
Mhm.
and forth on that as far as like how valuable they actually are. I know Cliff is more of past the whole uh, reports and stuff like that because, we obviously know they exist. We know that they're out there and stuff. And now it's just more of a down to trying to figure out where they are and how they're living and studying them. But I think that a lot of your reports and stuff are still valuable because it gives you an idea of, what they're doing and where. It's showing you the behaviors of these creatures and that of, like the time of year of where these things are seen and stuff, like if they're migrating for food or if they're moving through a certain area or if they're in a certain area at a certain time. That's all the kind of stuff that you can learn by plotting and mapping these sightings. Have you noticed any kind of trends in that as far as like a pattern or anything of the witness accounts that you've gotten?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been pretty interesting with that because, I was thinking, oh, we'd kind of get scattered reports all over, and some would be from like anywhere from like the 60s to like, maybe last year type of thing, right? But we've actually gotten reports coming right out of like the same areas and not that far apart either. I think, yeah, we got one near the Owen Sound area in Ontario, actually. Um, yeah, West Rocks Conservation, I think is the name of it. We got two reports coming out of there, and they weren't too far apart in years. I don't remember the exact amount of years off the top of my head, but they were close. So that's one where it's pretty interesting that um, you know like we're getting reports coming out of the exact same spot, right? To like more than one person saw this thing. And it's the same in other areas, probably not as close, but within a good general radius and stuff. Further north, up by right up by Algonquin Park, and we've gotten a fair bit of witnesses reporting things out of there. And it's a huge provincial park, so it makes a lot of sense. And that's close to where we're going. And I've been spending a lot of time up there this summer. So yeah, it's really great to see that they're not just kind of randomized reports and there's not really any sort of correlation, because I think when there's a correlation, it obviously shows there's something going on, and that's really important for us in knowing where to look.
Have you noticed any certain time of year is more reports coming in, not coming in, but the sightings, like in the spring, summer, fall, winter, or
I've had researchers tell me that the fall is a good time to have activity and stuff, but based on the reports, we get reports from every time of year. So yeah, I don't think there's necessarily a bad time of year to be squatching. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
like these animals are out there 365 days a year. Just like us, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I think I wouldn't say there's one time of year that's the only time you'd find anything, or at least with our reports, it's very scattered in terms of what time of the year and everything. But yeah, so hope that answers the question.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, we found a lot of stuff amps up more in the fall where we're working specifically
Hmm.
because you have a lot of the migratory birds and stuff come in. And it's a lot of we're in Wisconsin where we do our work. And we find a lot of the birds coming back is when the Sasquatch come into those areas for that food source. But I mean, that's just one food source that they're, following. So it's possible that they're wherever these birds are migrating through, they're going to follow them because it's a food source. Another reason would be like possibly, with hunters and stuff being out in the woods in the fall and that you're just getting more reports in the fall because there's literally more people out there. It's maybe not that you're not have activity in the winter and summer and spring, but there's just more people out in the woods to see the activity. But, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's yeah, I think another thing that kind of reminds me of too is in the winter, like you hear more tracks being found and stuff like that, especially up here, but it's because there's snow on the ground, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think they're interesting questions that we hope to answer, and yeah, I look forward to unraveling all that. But yeah, no, that pretty much what you said kind of lines up with what a lot of the researchers who mentioned the fall being a good time said about it. But yeah.
Cool. All right, we're going to take a brief break here, and when we come back, we have more with Ryan from the Trent Sasquatch Society. So join us after the break.
On the weekend of October 1st and 2nd, Paranormal Perception and Unearthing the Supernatural invite you to kick off our favorite time of the year in Anaheim, California. Orange County ParaCon, the first ever paranormal conference in Anaheim. You'll hear from and meet paranormal investigators, psychic mediums, get an explanation of palmistry, and sit in on a seance conducted by the Hollywood good witch, Patty Negri. You can ask questions of all the guest speakers, including WLTK-DB's own Nicole Strickland and Paranormal Pete Orbea. Enjoy 2 days of paranormal speakers and spooky vendors. Single or 2-day general admission as well as 2-day VIP tickets on sale now. All info and tickets can be found at ocparacon.com.
All right, we are back here live with Ryan from the Trent Sasquatch Society. And Trent, you're up in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where you guys are based. And I know you mentioned earlier about a little bit of your one member was out in British Columbia. And I think you know where we're going with this, hopefully. In the news this past week, it was literally all over Facebook. Yeah, we know where we're going with this.
Yeah, I know.
So, for the people who don't know, hopefully, if you're into paranormal and cryptids and stuff, there was a Facebook post by Coyote Peterson, who is like this wildlife crazy guy that goes out and gets stung and bitten and stuff, and shows you what happens. I guess he's like an outdoorsman. I personally never heard of him before this thing. And he put up this post claiming that he found this primate skull, and it was in British Columbia in a wildlife area, and he packed it in his bag and brought it back, and that's basically the gist of the story, and that he was going to release more information on Saturday. Well, this would have been, I believe, Thursday that this came out. And within about an hour of him posting this, a lot of the people that you've mentioned, for one, like Jeff Meldrum, Maria Mayer, a lot of them, I can't think of the other guy's name I was going to mention, but all chimed in and basically said that this was, in their belief, a gorilla skull. Which, if we're looking at Sasquatch being a primate and along those lines, it's not without reason that these two skulls could look similar. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were actually posting these pictures showing what is basically like a replica of a gorilla skull, and showing that it probably is the same skull that was, found in British Columbia. And so for one, Coyote Peterson never claims that this is a Sasquatch skull. He never claims what it is that he found. He just says it is a primate skull. And I did happen to watch his video. Did you get a chance to watch that?
I didn't watch the video, but I read a lot about it, and
Okay.
and I read a lot about what people were saying about it. So yeah.
Yeah. So his video is, I would say, part one of something, whatever he's working on here. And it's a very kind of hokey, basic gist of him doing a documentary on the Bigfoot topic. And he's up in British Columbia and talking about is it Harrison Hot Springs is where he is, I think. But he's doing this research and going out in the woods, and he proposes the question of what would happen if evidence was found. And then he goes into a hypothetical video scenario of him finding this skull. And so right in his 15-minute documentary video, he says that this thing is, just a hypothetical situation. He never claims that it's Bigfoot. He never even claims in the video that it's a Bigfoot skull. So my guess is so obviously you're familiar with this story and stuff, Ryan. So what do you think of this whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't even watch the full video or anything, but I read a lot of what people were saying about it, and you know, I kind of laughed a bit at first because it's like, oh, it's kind of convenient. He's a outdoor kind of. I saw like people posting, oh, this guy's like the modern day Indiana Jones and stuff like that. I just I kind of thought like, you're really expecting like, guys like Dr. Meldrum and stuff to maybe buy this, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it, yeah, like I saw a lot of the analysis of it and stuff, and what Dr. Meldrum had said, and then Matt Moneymaker had said, and how if it was found where he claims, it would have had this and this aspects to it. So me personally, I mostly go off of what guys like Dr. Meldrum are saying, and I know him, and he's like he's obviously like the best at what he does, and so whatever he kind of says about it is kind of like he's the top expert, right? So obviously I'm going to listen to what the scientists are saying about it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch the video, so what you were saying there, if it is all hypothetical, it's interesting if maybe he's doing something where he finds a Bigfoot skull and sees what the reaction is, because it's interesting to see what kind of effect it has, rippling through the Bigfoot community and everything. That is very interesting, actually, in terms of from an experimental point of view. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was pretty. I read a lot about it on Facebook and other articles and things, but yeah, I didn't see the video actually, but yeah, it was I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny in some ways, because like obviously he's not like getting away with it, or like everyone shut it down pretty quick, but it was kind of funny seeing on Facebook how a lot of Bigfoot people, like just fans and stuff in Bigfoot Facebook groups were kind of jumping all over it, like, here it is, here's the. And then you see kind of the the top researchers are kind of like, calm down, guys, like this is this is probably not legit. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of read what they were saying, and I got, am I even gonna watch the video at that point? But I probably should go check it out, because it did stir up a lot of stuff. But I don't know. I do think that is pretty neat though, looking at it from a perspective of what kind of effect does it have on the Bigfoot community and the scientific community and stuff like that. That is very interesting to me.
Yeah. So I have two accounts on Facebook. I have my private account, and I have a public account for caps and stuff, and for this. And my public account is pretty much just follows paranormal, Bigfoot, all that stuff. So when I scroll through it, I see all that on my Facebook. And within about, I would say, 2 hours of that being published, every post on my Facebook was that post. Every forum, every page that followed everything from aliens to whatever. So the like you said, this is a very interesting social experiment, because if this was legitimate, look how fast that spread across the internet. That shows you exactly the modern day social media aspect of how this stuff spreads. I mean, everybody was talking about this, and we're talking about it now. And my question to you is, you guys are out there as a group from a scientific university, and you're talking about Bigfoot like it's a real creature, and that you're out researching it and stuff. So when you're doing these interviews, and I know you've done a lot, with this stuff, and from my point, when I talk about this stuff, I'm sure you get a lot, is people just throw it back in your face, like, you believe in that, you're into Bigfoot, that thing's just fake. And now you have this guy that is, I don't want to say he perpetrated a hoax, because he never really ever said that it was Bigfoot. He never said that it was a Bigfoot skull or anything like that. So I don't want to give him a bad rep for that. It was a hypothetical situation that he did. But when you got guys out there that are, doing this, everyone believes that he was out hoaxing, trying to make everyone believe that he did this. And then you have people like yourself that are out there trying to put Bigfoot into a serious light of a research topic that should be taken seriously. How do you think that reflects on you guys?
I don't think it's good when something comes out and that's like the new top piece of evidence, right? Everyone's blowing up about the ape skull that's found in British Columbia, like the top place to see Bigfoot in the world, arguably, and because then people look and they go, oh, like Bigfoot, that's one more reason why it shouldn't be taken seriously, because here's a new top piece of evidence, and within maybe like an hour, the whole the tops of the Bigfoot community have deemed it to be a hoax, right? But like you said, if he's never, I didn't watch the video, but if he's never said that that's what it was, or that it was a Bigfoot skull, and it was a hypothetical situation, right? People shouldn't give him that hard a time if he didn't say it, because like he said what it is. People just misinterpret that sort of thing, and I think that happens a lot too in the Bigfoot world. I don't think obviously it's not good that he's not that he even made something that you can say is a hoax if he never said it's Bigfoot, right? He's just saying it's hypothetical. Here's an ape skull, right? But it's not good when the Bigfoot community jumps all over that and that makes that their new top piece of evidence, because I think that aspect of the Bigfoot community, rather than someone like Coyote Pedersen going out and saying here's the skull, I think it's the reaction that the Bigfoot community gives back to it that is maybe the problem there, because you have to have a skeptical mind and everything like that, and the top researchers in the field, like, which is a really good thing they do, have a skeptical mind, and like that's why you see guys like Matt Moneymaker and Dr. Meldrum going and talking about how this isn't a Sasquatch skull, most likely. So I think that's really important to see, because when you get academics involved and scientists, you can't just jump all over something just because you have to look at it and assess, because like we all want it to be a Sasquatch skull for sure, right? That's 100% what we want, and we'd love it if someone found a legitimate one, but we want it to be, like I said, a legitimate one. We don't want to go basing everything off of some guy's YouTube channel where he found an ape skull, and that being the top piece of evidence. And luckily there's lots of other really good evidence that is taken seriously and reviewed by scientists with skeptical opinions and such. I mean, and I think that's a good thing that our group does, keeping a good skeptical opinion and stuff like that, because I had some students send it to me and stuff, and they're like, this looks kind of, and even ones in scientists were like, this, or in sciences were like, like based on my learning of this like doesn't look so legit. But yeah, I think the problem though is when you have all these people and the Bigfoot forums and everything that are just eating it up, right? Like they'll eat anything up. Mm-hmm. You could like I could put on like a Chewbacca costume and go stand in front of some trees. I could go stand like at the like in my backyard in a Chewbacca costume, and I could put that in Bigfoot forum, and like there would be a decent amount of people in there that just eat that up. Mm-hmm. And it's not to say that there's no Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like we're all academics, and a lot of our students are in sciences, and we learn from other academics and top researchers who, study the facts and, the top evidence, right? And that's why more of our group, is growing and getting bigger, and more students believe now, because there is a lot of evidence that isn't taken seriously by the public and, talked about. And, we're bringing that to the academic community now. And I think it's, a really good thing that we are. But but you have to be skeptical about all of it. And you have to look at it, look at everything with an open mind, but you have to, look at what the evidence shows and what the science shows. And so I, like I said, I think it's an interesting experiment if that's what he was, doing. And I don't think you can give him a hard time if that's what he's doing. He said that's what he's doing. Because, like, I could put up a post or something, right, where I'm saying, this is a fake Bigfoot skull, and I can send it everywhere in the Bigfoot community. You know what I mean? And if a bunch of them misinterpret that, like that's on them, But yeah, I think it would help if more of the community were skeptical about certain things, because you can't just jump all over everything, and no one's going to take you seriously if you do. You know what I mean? Like if a guy in a Chewbacca costume walks down the street and I go, oh wow, look everybody, that's a Bigfoot, right? Everyone's gonna be like, well, like, Ryan's a moron. Like that's just Chewbacca, right? Like, but so I think and I think if you're not a scientist and stuff too, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, these people are morons or anything. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, you have to wait and see before you start saying right away that that's what it is. Wait till, a guy like Dr. Meldrum checks it out, right? Who's qualified to figure out what that is. And then start posting about what it is, instead of being like, oh, we got this video 10 seconds later, we're 100% sure it's Bigfoot. This is what it is. It's about time we found it, right? So, and even me looking at it, right? Like I'm not even in like a science program at Trent, right? So I look at that and, sure, it looks like it could be a Bigfoot skull, like, but I know I'm not qualified to tell. So, I don't. I wait till someone who is, and then I, go off of that. But I think I just, like, it is a convincing looking, skull, right? It looks like something that could have been found out of a creek bed or in the mud or somewhere. But I think I just think, Bigfooters just try to be a little more skeptical. Just wait the extra 5 minutes till, maybe some scientists look at it, and then start posting on it. Because, a lot of people that don't believe in Bigfoot, and I think it's a big reason why this research kind of gets pushed away, is that, like if you have a friend that's like into Bigfoot and stuff, and they go and post this, and they're like, they found it 100% Bigfoot, and then like an hour later scientists look at it and they're like, yeah, this is not a Bigfoot, right? Then you're gonna, every time you hear or think about Bigfoot research, like, this is the way people are, right? If it's not what it is, and then you're saying that's what it is, and then people look at that, they're going to think every time you do find something that it's just nonsense, right? So I think it's important to, because obviously bringing forward any discovery or type of research, right, you want more people to get behind it. And that's a huge thing that we try to do with all our outreach. And it works well, and more, like, a ton more students in either other universities are talking to us about starting their own societies, which is a really good thing. But, I think if it's an area where every, bit of research is just misproven right away, because it's like if a million people say that's 100% a Bigfoot, and then an hour later it's proven it's not a Bigfoot, you're going to be looking like, okay, well, if these are all the guys that push forward Bigfoot research, right, they don't know what they're talking about. But I just hope people, like I said, the top researchers do a great job of it, and that's why they come out and say, yeah, this is not legitimate. But they gotta have a bit more skepticism, and especially if he's saying in the video it's hypothetical, and I'm not saying it's a Bigfoot, and maybe he did just find like maybe someone just left a gorilla skull, like a plastic gorilla skull or something out there, right? And he did find it. He's not saying it's Bigfoot, like, not that I'm saying that's what happened, but yeah.
So, in your opinion, would you think that let's say this is hypothetical situation here. If he did, and this is a hypothetical on his whole scenario, if he did actually find a gorilla or primate skull out there, and had it analyzed, and let's say it came back, unknown, they don't know what this skull is, and we were able to kind of point that finger then, saying that this possibly could be a skull of a Bigfoot. Do you think that that would be enough evidence with just that, half a skull? We don't even have the jaw or anything. Do you think that that would be enough evidence with, as much, you saw the media publicity that this thing got already. Do you think that that would be enough to convince people that Bigfoot was real?
I don't. I think it would convince more people for sure. Because one of the big questions is, why is there's no skeleton, there's no body. uh and the explanation I've always kind of said is that it's a very rare animal that lives in remote parts of the wilderness. There's a lot of people out there. How often do you find bare bodies and things? So I think it makes sense that with a very rare animal like this that obviously knows how to hide, and we don't even know if they do anything necessarily with their dead. I'm not saying they do or they don't, but it's obviously a possibility. I don't think it's that out of the question why there hasn't been a body found. But yeah, I think say if it did come back as unknown primate, and that's what everyone was saying, and the scientists confirmed it, I think it would convince a lot more people, and I think it would get it obviously would be on all the news and everything. It'd be a huge story, obviously, so a lot more people would hear about it in the first place, and I'm sure a lot more would be convinced. But I don't think the world will be convinced until we have an actual Bigfoot in a lab or a cage somewhere, and we can look at it and say that's exactly what this is, and this is what everyone says they've been seeing the past 100 400 500 years or so. We've been here, and the natives long before us. But yeah, I think that's what it would take to have it taken fully seriously, and yeah, just everyone have no question about it for sure. But I think it would convince a lot more people for sure, but I don't think it would be enough to convince everybody.
You think it would obviously open up a lot more doors, maybe get more scientific funding and stuff behind it for more, to take the whole topic a lot more seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a really great part of it, because like something we try to do is grow it within the academic community. That's probably outside of actually finding a Sasquatch. Like, that's our main goal, and that's what most of our time goes to. Because we want more schools to get behind this, and that's how you get this type of thing taken seriously, if the students are pushing for it. Like, we kind of got the idea to start doing outreach and trying to get other schools behind it, because Matt Moneymaker has said to us, like, keep pushing for them to take this type of thing seriously and see if you can use the labs and stuff. And yeah, so I like, the more students you have pushing for that type of thing, the more success you're going to have in actually getting it. Because if it's something everyone wants, and the students are here at the schools, and we're all paying for it, then we want to use their resources, which they're supposed to do with certain clubs and activity. It all depends on the school and the different, there's a lot of variables, but yeah, that's what it takes. So that's really what we try to focus on. But I think something like that, if it came back as credible, would be great for the Bigfoot community, because it's another huge piece of evidence, and that gets a lot more people behind it. Like, the more Bigfoot stuff there is out there, the more people you're going to get that take an interest in Bigfoot, and then do something or go out and set something up that makes an impact in actually having a discovery. Like I've always kind of said, if it weren't for the TV show Finding Bigfoot, like the Trent Sasquatch Society just wouldn't exist, right? And I've even read about other schools in the States that I don't know if their societies are still active, but I've read about one or two other ones, and they say, like, well, we love finding Bigfoot, and got into it that way and saw the evidence and all the witnesses, and that's how we got started. And I think that type of thing's huge. So I think something like that, if it did come back as a unknown primate or something like that, would for sure spark a ton more interest and publicity and funding, which is really, really important in this area.
I always tend to reference like Bigfoot and stuff like a tree, right? So a lot of people that are interested in the subject, that have seen Finding Bigfoot and that see like the leaves on the top of the tree, and that's about it. And then you have the people that dig a little bit deeper, and you have the trunk, where you learn a little bit more about the topic and you read a couple books and stuff. But until you actually start researching, you don't realize all the roots of the tree and all the history. And like, you'd be surprised how many people come up to me at conventions and stuff and say, "Oh, there's more than one Bigfoot." Like, I thought there was just one running around out in the woods. There's a whole species. Well, yeah, this, and I can't believe people actually believe that there was just one of these things. So when you're looking at like reaching out and stuff like this, you were talking about other schools and stuff that you had clubs and that. So you guys obviously have gone through all the hoops and have been through this. Do you guys offer any kind of like help to students that are looking to start ones in their own area, or can they reach out to you? How can other groups get started? How can you help them?
Yeah, like obviously you have to. Each school is a bit different with how many people you need for a club or society or however they do it. So the first thing is getting a group together of people that would be willing to sign up and run a society. But in terms, it's essentially a school club, right? So it's essentially the same thing as doing that. It's just you're doing it with Sasquatch research. So, but to run it really well, like we could have ran it and just got together like once a month, talked about Bigfoot in like a library room or something like that, and gone home. But we made the effort to reach out to a lot of the top names in the field, and we pretty much reached out to all the top names in the field, and luckily most of them have gotten back to us, which is great. And getting to talk with those guys all the time and learn and email with them a lot is amazing. So I think the best way to do it and do a good job of it and actually run it well would be just reach out to, if you just go to sasquatchuniversity.com and you're a student who wants to start, I always say in these interviews, if we're asked about it, like we obviously want to grow the movement. So we'll help in any way we can and put them in touch with anyone. And I'd have to see about I think it kind of depends with both schools and how we do it, but I think we could even do like joint meetings and things like that. So I think that would be amazing. So I'd love it if more students reached out about doing that. I think it would be incredible. And but in terms of actually doing it, because you have to get approved by your school first. So I think, but I think at most places it's relatively simple. Like for us, we needed like 15 people, and we had to come up with a constitution and what we do. And luckily we got approved, and it's been run really well and everything. So that's pretty much all there is to it. But I think like obviously now we've worked really hard to collect all these resources and contacts and information. So we're super happy to share with everybody, because we want everyone to get to learn about this. So just reach out and we can give you everything you need. So yeah.
Cool. And one more time, nice and clear, everybody, where can they get a hold of you? Where are your social medias, Facebook, website, YouTube, where's all that?
Yeah, you can find everything we're doing right at sasquatchuniversity.com. It's all right there. And I think we have links to all the social media, and there's you can find the YouTube there, and we have merchandise too. So and then a lot of the media appearances and stuff. I think that's most of what we got on there. But but you can contact us and pretty much see everything we got going on right there. So that's definitely the best way.
Cool. Yeah. And as you said, I mean, like, I've come into this industry, and like you always see like these people on TV, and like Matt Moneymaker and Meldrum, and you think that these guys are so unapproachable because they're TV stars and stuff. But every time that I've met them, Cliff Barrickman, I've gotten to know pretty well, just because with our traveling around, we saw him like at almost every convention we were at. Ken Gerhardt is another one that's really really good on Bigfoot. We were just had him at a convention up here in Upper Michigan with us. I got to spend a lot of time with him. He's another guy that would be great for you guys to reach out to if you haven't already. Meldrum, as you said, and I mean these guys are all super approachable. They're not the television stars that you would think, the unapproachable people. They're all very down to earth, and want to share their knowledge and help expand the knowledge of this topic and everything. So that's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they're super nice guys. Like, and I think the students really appreciate that too, because they're like, oh yeah, you guys can ask me anything, and they do, and they give really good answers back. And yeah, like it's great too, because like most of them, like I guess all of them, they'll if I ask like, hey, can we just call like one-on-one for a bit, and I ask you about this, they're like, yeah, for sure, it's great. I think they're probably a bit more, willing to, because I'm like, heading up a big academic group and stuff. So I think they know the research is going some, but
legitimate.
But yeah, like, yeah, well, but
not a fan. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am a huge fan, but yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, like they're super helpful, and they're super like nice, approachable people, and yeah, like I think something the students really love about them, especially like any questions, they're never, even if it's a kind of a no-brainer type of question, they won't be like, oh, that's a dumb question, you didn't know about that. They're like, oh yeah, well, give a good answer anyway, because obviously some students, whenever they join up, are a bit newer to it, so they don't know everything right off the hop. So sometimes you get a very kind of basic question. But yeah, they're always super nice about it, and really great and easy to talk to. So yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. I wish you the best of luck in everything that you guys and your whole society has to do. I was going to ask you real quick. What you never said? Maybe you don't want to. What are you doing for school? What are you going to school for?
I'm in Canadian cultural studies right now, but I'm actually switching to a business program for next year at the same school and everything. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have plans on doing more Bigfoot after you graduate, or?
Yeah, actually, we actually got offered a production company in the area actually read some of the articles about us and asked if we wanted to do a pilot, which I'm actually going later today. We're going to start filming. Nice. So, yeah, no, I'm excited for that. I think it'd be cool for a lot of people to learn about what we're doing. But, yeah, I mean, like, if that took off, I'd love to do that. And, obviously getting to do what you love is just, incredible, and not work if that's, what you love to do. But, yeah, I want to keep doing everything I can with Bigfoot, even after I graduate next year. So, yeah, we'll see. And, I know the society will be well taken care of. And I mean, even with Sasquatch University, kind of the group of us that are kind of working to bring all the schools together, I mean, we'd still be heading up that, I guess. So we'd still be, super involved that way. So yeah, I always hope to be around and do everything I can in Bigfooting. And I'm super serious about it, obviously. So yeah, but I think the society too will always be in good hands. We have some really good up and comers that I'm excited about, because they really know their stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your production thing. I hope that goes well for you, and hopefully we see you on Traveler Discovery or something pretty soon, and that'd be awesome. So
yeah, I hope so. That'd be really cool. But yeah, and thanks again so much for having me on, and yeah, definitely. It's been fun talking to you.
You too. Thanks. If there's anything ever I can do for you, reach out to us, wisconsincaps@gmail.com. And, if you ever need a speaker or something, I can tell you all about Wisconsin Bigfoot.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll definitely, I'll shoot you an email after. And yeah, that'd actually be great.
Sounds good, man. Well,
Yeah.
best of luck to you. Thanks for being on the show again today. I'm your host, Barnaby, and you can find everything about me at wisconsincaps.com. And look up our YouTube and our Facebook and all that stuff, Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. Check out our public events. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we have an event coming up in Neenah this Sunday where we'll be doing some UFO experimenting in Neenah at Kimberly Point Park. So if you're available and want to come out, come on out. It's open to the public and it's free. And thanks again, Ryan, for coming on. The university or SasquatchUniversity.com to find out everything about Ryan here and those guys. So until next time, we'll see you out there, guys.